Album number one we're gonna be ranked to is Camila Cabello, C, comma, XOXO, which I'm assuming is like Camila XOXO. You know how people sign off in letters saying hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses. This is an album that's been much talked about, much anticipated. She has certainly grown her status and her lay in the music landscape over the past few years, and it's it's increased. She's definitely become more popular, much more of a household name, and people have started to check for her music on a more consistent basis. This rollout has been pretty substantial. A lot of her singles that she put out, the one with Lil Nas X, the much anticipated one of Drake, and the one with Playboi Carti have all gotten a lot of buzz, a lot of talk, and just a lot of people's eyes and ears on it. So people have definitely been looking out for this one. And this will be the first album that I've ever fully listened to from her. I've obviously heard singles and some of her biggest stuff, but I've never sat down and gave a full project a listen. So outside of her singles, I don't really know what to expect from her. I'm assuming it's kind of more just mainstream poppy, maybe with a little bit like Latin flair and some little other kind of modern elements to it. But for the most part, I'm expecting kind of a straight up pop affair. So without further ado, again, let's just get right into it. Track number one, I Love It, featuring Playboi Carti. I said Playboi Carti. Playboi Carti. So we did react to this one maybe a few weeks ago. I don't remember exactly when, but we did actually react to the music video of this, the official music video of this when it came out, whenever that was, earlier in the summer, springtime, whenever that was. I don't remember my full initial reactions to it. You can go check that out if you want to see my original thoughts to it. But I do remember it being like this hyper pop track and single that got a lot of buzz and got a lot of people talking about it because it was so kind of different and out there, and such a wild kind of shift from her and a blending of genres, and her tackling this kind of niche hyper pop genre was interesting to say the least. And if I kind of remember my original reaction, I do think I liked it. I did definitely like this part where she's talking about diamonds in the cut, like the V cut. That's a straight up reference to Gucci Mane's Lemonade, if you know what I'm talking about, which was a fire song in itself.
What?
I know people love Playboi Carti and swear to him up and down. I'm not necessarily one of those people. I do actually like some of the stuff. I did like his first album that he put out. I think it had a number of very enjoyable tracks. But for the most part, for me, Playboi Carti is very hit and miss. Mostly because I don't know what he be saying most of the time. Like that whole last bar run, whatever he did, I did not catch a single word he said. But he is all about the vibes, and he can deliver the vibes of a song and track in general. But the fact that you can kind of make a whole career out of saying absolutely nothing is wild to me. But that's neither here nor there. Again, okay song. I'm not gonna say I love it. I like it. It's decent. When it comes to hyperpop, I always consider it to be kind of this meme genre of pop where it's like an amalgamation of all these internet cultures combined into a song that's showing all your different interests and whatnot. And it's very, very hard to pull off in a enjoyable way, at least for me. But I think for the most part, she did deliver a mainstream-esque hyper pop song that I feel like a lot of people can kind of vibe with, even though it is pushing the envelope for, I would assume, some of our more mainstream listeners. Now, hearing Gucci Mane being referenced and sampled and quoted on a Camila Cabello song by Camila Cabello herself is not something I expected. It is not something I expected at all. It is kind of a pleasant surprise. I don't know if that is due to her songwriting or her input or her trying to show that, I am still of the culture. forget all the pop. I did grow up listening to things that were culturally, popular and relevant, especially in like hip hop and whatnot. But if this was their input, that's dope to see. Did not expect it from a Camila Cabello, but here we are. And for those of you who have not actually heard the song that I'm actually talking about that she referenced, I'm gonna play that for you because it's an all-time classic from those mid-early 2010s. And the fact that it's getting referenced to Camila Cabello song, I'm sure got his streaming numbers up once again, seemingly out of nowhere. So I want to give y'all guys a little taste of that. All-time banger. All-time banger. If you went around for the Gucci Mane era, like, I don't know what to tell you, that period of time from late 2000s to mid 2010s was something special, something very special. I have to remind myself that was actually a real period in time with a real person, but that was a wild period to be around in music and hip hop in general. But he definitely had a run, and it's crazy to see him being mentioned in these pop songs now. Like, never would have guessed. All right, let's go to the next track. Track number 2, Chanel number 5. Those keys are crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Out of all this song right now, those keys are doing a lot. I like the more laid back, stripped down sound, and those keys are carrying it in a way that you kind of hear in like a hip hop song. And like, this is super dope production and not kind of what I was expecting from the direction of her and her music, but I'm feeling this one. Chanel number 5 is dope right now. Dope song. Like I said, production was fire. I love the little cuts in and out with like the vocal sampling. I like the piano keys. I liked everything that she's doing. Even some of her delivery had very kind of hip hop styling and influences, and I can definitely see and hear kind of some of those coming through. I'm not sure if it's intentional, but it's definitely there, and I'm feeling it so far. Let's go to track number 3, Pink, XOXO. Might be an interlude, only 55 seconds. Let's see. Yeah, just an interlude, nothing to speak about. Let's go to track number 4, He Knows, featuring Lil Nas X. Okay, cool little number. I like that number. I'm not blown away by it, but I do like it. I think it's a vibe overall. It's got a nice little dancey, boppy feel to it. Almost quasi house beat production. Again, I'm really liking the vocal sampling and vocal ad-libs that she's doing in here. We don't really hear too many ad-libs in kind of pop slash R&B mainstream music. It's definitely something that's a staple of hip-hop. Again, something that I feel like she is kind of gravitating to and grabbing on to and implementing it in pretty interesting ways here, and I like it. Lil Nas X, it was cool. He didn't really stand out. He was just, an interesting little addition to it. He's an artist who I think is struggling to find his kind of second phase. I think that he hasn't really grabbed the attention in the ways that he used to, no matter how hard he tries and no matter how many cringy, boundary pushing things that he does, especially in the new videos. It's just not really, people are kind of getting tired of it. And it'd be interesting to see where he goes in the future. Seems like he's kind of struggling a little bit to find a way to remain relevant and continue to produce good music without being necessarily so edgy. But overall, decent song, nothing crazy, but decent. Let's keep this going. Let's go to 20 somethings, track number 5. Again, I know I am not tripping with her delivery, her lyrics. Just her overall like vocal stylings are very heavily hip-hop influenced. That whole little run that she did on there sounds like some Juicy J shit. I'm not gonna lie to you, that definitely sounds like some Juicy J flow. Cool song. Definitely more of her like more folky singer-songwritery bag right there. Stripped down acoustic guitar strumming and kind of just delivering like these seemingly heartfelt musings with some thrown in Juicy J, you know, these vocal runs in there. It was an interesting mix. Again, she's doing things that I didn't expect, and I'm kind of liking it because it's shaking things up, make things feel a bit more fresh than like a straight up pop single. And keep this going. Track number 6, Dade County Dreamin', featuring JT and Young Miami. All right, I gotta say it.
It's not a banger, my guy.
It's just not. At first I was kind of interested, but it felt repetitive. Production wasn't great, a bit simple and kind of boring overall. I don't think JT and Young Miami brought much to the song. I was kind of expecting them to shake things up and make things a little more exciting, but it felt kind of bland throughout for what they were trying to go for. And yeah, I'm really not feeling this, and I think it's kind of. But let's keep this going. Let's go to track number 7, Koshi XOXO, featuring BLP Kosher. Sounded like a another interlude. Let's go to track number 8, Hot Uptown, featuring Drake. Now this is the much talked about and anticipated single featuring Drake that she has kind of been building up for quite a while. I know the official music video I believe it dropped already, but it's one that had been talked about for a long time because it was mentioned in the middle of Drake's much publicized back and forth beef with one Kendrick Lamar. And the timing could not have been worse for my boy, or your boy, however you want to say it. The fact that in his own diss track to Kendrick, he mentions Kendrick's past features on like Maroon 5 and Taylor Swift, and kind of try to use it to discredit his legitimacy in terms of hip-hop status and being a purist, as a lot of people kind of view Kendrick as. And then for him to, in the middle of this, have this song, this big lead, well, I won't say lead, this big single and music video with one Camila Cabello come out, was not a good look. And I think it is the reason, as if you're listen to rumors and kind of the chatter about it, that it got pushed back when it was originally supposed to come out a little bit before. And I never get this to listen to or watch, so we're gonna give this a listen to right now. But I do know the kind of backstory with this is hilarious in the context of Kendrick and Drake's beef. So let's check this one out. Hot Uptown featuring Drake. Let's go. Look, I can't lie. It was an enjoyable song. It's got that nice kind of island Caribbean bounce to it. Great little number out and about at a cookout, pool party, wherever. Perfect vibing music. And I would probably enjoy this even more if the whole situation with Drake didn't happen. I'm not gonna lie. The whole Kendrick Drake situation just makes this a sad, unfortunate timing for one Camila Cabello, because this was supposed to be a big single for her and one that is, you know, a good look to get a Drake on here, obviously one of the biggest artists out there. And to have this come out in the middle of all that, oh, timing could not have been worse. It made me want to go and actually look at the comments of the actual visualizer that dropped, and let's just say it did not disappoint. First comment: there's no accent you can sell me. Once again, referencing Kendrick Lamar. Drake has made a song at every accent except Yiddish. Drake's not Wake Up Bay. Drake's 90th accent just dropped. Bruh is back in his colonizing era. I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he acts tough. Like, these people, every comment on this song has been about the whole Kendrick and Drake back and forth. It has nothing to do with the actual song and the song's content. This, the timing. Gotta feel bad for her. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of feel bad for her because, geez, it is literally scrolling and they are all about Kendrick and Drake. and all shitting on Drake. Timing could not be worse, unfortunately, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Go track number 9, Ugly. Let's go. Oh, and by reading the actual, credit of it, it seems to be a full-on Drake interlude single, which again, in kind of a silo context, not happening with what just happened, it'd be a good look for it. It'd be cool. It'd be something that's dope that you got a whole feature and a whole nother interlude from the boy. One of the biggest artists out there. Great look for her, obviously. But again, in the context of what happened, the timing could not have been worse. And then have a matter talk about CC, they want me to break it down. Like, yo. My boy Drake cannot catch a break. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that Drake hair pack just ain't hitting like it used to. I'm there. As much as I still enjoy this interlude in this kind of typical Drake soft melody singing fashion, it's just not hitting like it probably should have, simply for the fact that he got washed. That's it. Unfortunate time for her. This should have been a big, huge look for her in her career, but it was almost the opposite effect. I just checked the views on Hot Uptown featuring Drake, which she had been teasing for weeks before it released. She only got 1.8 million in 2 weeks. That's crazy. For a Drake single, Drake feature, who's got like these mega fans and has all these #1 hits and everything he touched seems to turn to gold, to only have 1.8 in 2 weeks, considering all the marketing push that you put behind the song itself. Sheesh. I'm sure she paid for the feature too, and it's just like, damn. I know she woke up when all that kind of shit and with Kendrick Lamar dropped, and she was disappointed! Like, sorry, but again, that Drake care package ain't hitting like it used to. Unfortunate for her. Let's go to track number 10, Dream Girls. I mean, again, this is her kind of trying to show that she is of the culture, that she does know what's going on, especially like hip hop and R&B and like black culture in general. And she is clearly, without hiding it, definitely referencing, even low-key sampling the Dream's massive hit Shawty's a 10 from all those years ago, which is kind of a dope look to see like him get the love and recognition, because I don't think he gets enough credit for how good he was at the time, especially behind the scenes. People don't really know all the songs and hits that he wrote, but like he definitely had his own run, and to see him kind of get this recognition from a newer artist is dope to see. But it's also kind of conflicting if you know her past history. All I'm going to say is you can Google Camila Cabello racist and there won't be nothing there. Let's just say that. But to see her kind of like paying homage once to Gucci Mane, seemingly to Juicy J, which sounded like that, and then now to the Dream, it's dope to see, regardless of kind of how you feel about her and her situations. She's trying to show I am of the culture. I do know what's going on, and it's dope. It's dope. But again, there are a lot of people that might have some issue with this. Again, I'm gonna play a song for a lot of people because I think a lot of people might not know what I'm talking about when it comes to the Dream in the song that she's clearly referencing, but I am going to play that. Let's check it out. The fit, the big ass chains, the baggy clothes, man, it brings back a different era. One that, you know, is finally getting its love again. It's dope to see. Again, no matter how you feel about her, it is undeniably dope to see that she is kind of giving some homage and credit and love to these past artists and their music. But coming from her can be seen as a bit ironic. Let's go to track number 11. 305 Till I Die. Let's go. No, that's a sample. Let's go to track number 12. BOAT, Boat. Good song. I like the melodies on there. Piano work was great. I do like the little touches of synth in there. And again, I love the vocal sampling, little ad-libs that she's sprinkling throughout all these songs. That makes it feel a bit more modern and fresh and interesting than just a straight up pop ballad. But it worked really well here, and her vocals are great and very strong. And like overall, it was just a very enjoyable song. It was dope to hear. Let's keep this going. Let's go to track number 13. Pretty When I Cry. I've mentioned it multiple times already throughout this album, but her use of vocal sampling and vocal kind of ad-libs and little touches throughout the songs have added quite a lot to her music. And I do think it creates like this very unique pop sound that you don't really hear too often. And I think it's working really well for her. And this might be something new in the genre that other people kind of latch onto and use. You don't really hear it that often, especially outside of like, hip hop and other genres like that, but it's cool to see. It's cool to see, and I think that it works really well. I like it. Production's phenomenal. Vocals great. Again, like all the little touches that she adds throughout here. It's a good little vibe, good bounce to it. Definitely something I can hear at a party and what makes you want to dance. What more do you want in a pop single? Let's go to track number 14, the last track, June Gloom. I like that track, June Gloom. Cool little way to end it. A semi-pop ballad with some more little heavier, upbeat electronic elements throughout. But overall, a good kind of ending to the album as a whole. Again, vocals are strong. I thought the production was interesting. And again, I think overall, as a project, I think that this was a fairly interesting project. I think that she did enough things in here, tried and experimented with sounds and vocal samples and like little touches and throwbacks and nods to past music to elevate this past what I would consider to be like a typical by the numbers pop album. I think that she tried things. I think that more often than not they worked, and I do think that it kind of showed that she has a very versatile range and ability to deliver kind of these more poppy mainstream songs without it sounding same old. With that being said, I don't think it's gonna like do much in the way of changing her position in the pop landscape. I don't think it's gonna like do crazy numbers. I don't think it's gonna have people talking about at the end of the year, but it is an enjoyable, easy listen from front to back. Again, I really like all the things that she's doing here. I just don't know if it's going to be enough to put her in conversations at the end of the year. Now, how you feel about her kind of working with all these hip hop artists, using all these nods back to hip hop and R&B, and obviously Black artists and musicians, considering again her past controversies with racism and her old apologies, is up to you. For me personally, I can look past it. I don't hold 14-year-olds to their words and thoughts to like the rest of their life, because when you're 14, 13, whatever, you say a lot of dumb shit, especially on the internet when you're trying to be an edgelord. It's something that a lot of people unfortunately have done in their life. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's who they are forever or who they are even in the moment. But with that said, I can see why some people might feel some type of way about it. And might feel some type of way about her kind of touching on Black culture and Black music and kind of using it in her own music and to elevate her own career. I won't hold it to her. She said she went to racist therapy. Yes. And no, I did not know that was a thing either. But she said she went to racist therapy. She's learning. She's actually putting the work in. She's trying to become a better person and truly like atone for some of the things that she said. Again, I won't hold a 14-year-old to their words for the rest of life. That's fucking crazy because people say all things dumb. People always say dumb shit when they're younger, and you shouldn't be held to those standards forever. But again, I can see why maybe some people feel some type of way about it. Obviously, her biggest hits were supposed to be with Drake, and the fact that this whole situation happened between him and Kendrick definitely is going to have an effect on her album and probably torpedo a lot of the momentum that she was building up to. But I do think there's enough here to make it worth a listen. If there's anything that you guys, any opinions that you have about this album, let us know in the comments down below. Any tracks that are your favorites, any ones that you don't. Any opinion about this whole racist backstory, back history, and like using pretty much almost all primarily Black artists and features. Let us know in the comments down below. But yeah, that's it for Camila Cabello, XOXO.